This episode is sponsored by Proverbs 31 Business Systems. Are you tired of feeling like your business depends on you for everything? If your business slows down every time you step away, you may be the bottleneck. At Proverbs 31 Business Systems, we help faith-driven, service-based entrepreneurs build systems, workflows, and automation that allow their businesses to run without burnout. Take the 5-minute Bottleneck test to discover what's really slowing your business down and what to fix first. Simply scan the QR code shown on the screen or visit proverbs31businesssystems.com. Now let's get into today's episode.
More than gold. She doesn't.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Becoming the Proverbs Woman podcast. My name is Choma Kende, also known as Special Agent Chi, your host. And today's show we have Shakita Trigg. Shakita Trigg is a #1 Amazon bestseller author of Mindvelocity, the architect of the See It, Score It, and Scale It, Sustain It framework, and the founder of Alliance Strategy Partners. After 20 years inside the UPS, FedEx, and Amazon, including responsibility for $2.3 billion in technology operations across 34 countries and helping deliver $1.4 billion merger to profit in under 2 years, she stepped away from the Fortune 100 world to help women build intelligent infrastructure, scalable companies, and legacy of their own. Welcome to the show, this powerhouse, Shakita Trigg. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here and to be a guest and presenting about my framework, Mindvelocity. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for coming on the show. So how would you describe what you do in one sentence?
Oh, that's outstanding. Sometimes I feel like I can't even narrow it down, but I've always said I'm a strategist and I'm great at bridging strategy to execution. So in one sentence, I would say that I am a Fortune 100 strategist that help businesses transform into enterprises.
Yeah, I see. Just in your introduction, I see you said 20 years inside of, UPS, FedEx, and Amazon. So when did you first realize that the corporate years were preparation rather than like a detour for you?
Yes. You know what? I probably got the first nudge during my time at FedEx because it was the part of my career where I started to really evolve as a professional. I went from being coming straight out of the college era to learning the ropes in my first company and then really starting to blossom in my second. And so, but the reason why I think I started to realize that was probably the moment where I started to really reflect that the way my mind was able to think about things was kind of outgrowing my corporation. And it was probably my first instinct of that. But I would say the full revelation came full circle really in this past year when I started to be seeing myself in a seat I never wanted to sit in anymore.
Wow. No, that's true. In terms of just God prepares you, I feel like in terms of just the little things, and then it just gets you to that. So,
Yes.
what did leading a billion-dollar operation across multiple countries teach you that most founders never get the opportunity to learn? Because that's a huge, how? Like, what did you learn, like, in terms of that, with doing that? Like, what did that teach you?
First of all, I love to reflect, and I talk about this in my book, Mindvelocity. I like to share the background. Like, it still blows my mind. If I think little Shakita, who grew up in the projects of Dayton, Ohio, would have never even imagined not only would she be managing people across countries and regions, but to actually be managing our portfolio in the $1 billion when at that time we could barely afford food food on the table. So it's been truly a blessing. But it's been God telling me that I belong here. And so even when sometimes I didn't believe it, he showed me. He showed me through success in projects, through collaborations, through awesome teams, right? Because you don't manage a multi-billion dollar portfolio without the support of an amazing team backing you. And so for me, what I would tell a founder is to remove your own doubts, right? Because you too could be in a position, even as a small business or a mid-sized business, you never know the contract that you might get with a multi-million or billion-dollar industry, and it puts you right in that room to manage that portfolio. So sometimes it's removing your own like doubt and fears, and then getting in the space that you were ordained and designed to actually be in position to do.
Man. So what was that? So in doing that, managing that, you then decided, you said you were done with that and you just wanted to transition more into the, like helping women. I guess, are you more like a consultant, like a coaching business? Is that what you have now
Yes.
transitioned into? So how was that transition of
Yeah.
transitioning from that to now doing the consulting and the coaching?
Yeah, actually, my father had always told me, he was like, because he knew that at some point, I set this timeline, like right around 50, I'm gonna be ready to leave like corporate America and branch off on my own. He always said you needed to be a consultant. And I thought about it because he knows I love to travel. He knows that I really kind of like to have a seat at the table, but I like to do different things so I won't get stagnant. And really, I would say it was a spiritual transformation that happened for me. So again, blessed to have led teams that were across multiple regions. And one of my teams was actually based in India. And I had actually been their leader and manager for really at the time I was working there. It had been 5 years. And because of COVID and then changes with travel budgets, I didn't get the opportunity to actually see them in person for 5 years, which is crazy when I think about that, even though I kept asking every year, let me go. But it was actually a trip in April of 2025. I finally got to go to India. The team embraced me so much and showed me around the culture. And it was it was actually very spiritual setting, right? To walk their temples, to kind of see their culture and just it into everything that they do. And it opened my eyes that like I wanted more. And I wanted more of this, but I wanted to make more of an impact in a way I didn't feel like my corporate position was allowing me. And so that transition really was kind of the ignition that I needed to kind of light the fire of something that's been buried deep down inside of me. But now I was having faith to step out there. And ever since that moment, everything's been aligning perfectly to the point that I'm just trusting God in ways that I don't even think I had ever done before. And I like to say, right, it's happening right now in this transformation, this new book of my life, is that every time I approach a door, it just automatically opens. And that is nothing but God, but it's also confirmation and affirmation that I'm doing the right thing.
Nice, nice. So how did you, in terms of, I know we're both in the power circle. So what was that like, and how's your business? So did you have the business before joining the power circle? Is that how, did you have it before having the power circle, like, as a business, or was it you were in the power circle and then the business started?
Yeah, so actually, the business started afterwards because I was still working for my corporation at the time, and I was on this plan that maybe in about 2 years I would be ready to leave that company position and then branch out on my own. But I like to say I was kind of forced into freedom unexpectedly. So I found myself in Q4, and where there had been like starting to have like layoffs in the company. That was not necessarily my pathway to layoff, but what it was the forced out as middle management. And it was a very interesting journey because I was in a position where I was being blamed for something that was outside of my control, really, and I didn't have the support. And it hit in December, and I was just like, There's got to be more. And Alicia popped up on my screen on social media, like all of us, the queen of AI. And first of all, I was very impressed because even though I come from a tech world, I know what it's like. I barely see women that look like me. In some cases, barely see women in the tech conversations. And so to see a woman of color kind of being the face all over social media, I was like, I got to get in the circle and figure out what's going on over here. And it was really her sister, and the community that inspired me. And I started my business in January, Align Strategy Partners as a consulting firm, where I like to bring enterprise grade services to entrepreneurs. And especially in this stage of technology that I've been very fortunate to be a part of seeing the evolution of it. Now it being so open to businesses, I wanted to make sure that they thought about the implementation in the right way. And so it really has been the Power Circle, Alicia Little, Lorette, and the AI innovations, like really encouraging me in this new journey of my life. And so the businesses I love to serve, I would say probably my niche is more micro businesses and women owned businesses. So I like to work with businesses that are thriving and scaling, but they're still very much involved in their day to day. And so they need an ecosystem. I like to build ecosystems that really help them automate and create capacity to return back into not just working in their business, but actually thinking about how they will continue to scale their business.
Okay. It's good. So what transformation with do people experience, or the women in the business, like what transformation do they experience once they work with you?
Yeah, that's a great question. So my framework in the book, Mindvelocity, one, the reason behind the name, people always have told me the way my mind think is kind of like in systems and enterprise. And so velocity was a perfect pairing because we often hear the words that AI is, moving at the speed of light. But that light and that speed can head you into a wall. So I like velocity because it's talking about direction. So yes, you can move fast, but we want to make sure you're moving in the right direction. So under Mindvelocity as a framework, I have 4 phases. First is to see it. Second is to score it. Third is to scale it. And fourth is sustain it. And what you get with me first, before it's very easy, especially now that you can just type a prompt in AI and it'll build something for you, to jump straight to the third, which is the scale. But you really need to start with the score it or see it phase. And that's important because you really need to diagnose and assess the state of your business. So I have a 13 like operational module assessment that I do with my clients to make sure that we're looking across their entire operation to uncover the current state of their business so that we make sure we're prioritizing the right thing. Because as you start to, I like to say, remove the makeup, right? It's really seeing how your business is truly running, not the way that you hoped it run, but the way it is. And then scoring that so it helps us prioritize what are the big 3 things that you can go after, even starting tomorrow, that will transform your business. And that's where you start to see your business scale. And the reason why I added the 4th layer, which is sustain it, is because once you start to grow in a business, well, economy will change. There will be another technology release in the future. Your customer dynamics and what they want will change. And if you're not constantly thinking about the contingency plan, the growth strategy, the next phase, then your business will actually fail. And so working with me, I look across, again, assessing and then getting your business to transform and then sustain no matter what the climate.
I love your framework. And I like how you say it's more of like, yeah, you're going at the speed, but are you going in the right direction? That is very, very, very important. I like that because you can be going at the speed, but you're going in the whole different direction and you're just going and, like in a rabbit hole that's, yeah, you're going at speed, but is it in the right direction? I like that. I like that framework, the velocity framework. I love it. I love it. So what season of business would you say you're in?
Yeah, so this is a new stage for me. I like that. It's actually exciting, right? Believe it or not, I'm loving it. It feels like the time where I got to manage my first global team, something I always dreamed of. And now it feels like, what does this look like to transform businesses? I've actually set a target for myself that within 12 months, I want to be able to stand on a stage and say that I helped to transform 100 businesses. And I would love even more if God leads me to transforming for the better 100 women owned businesses. That's kind of my passion, and it has always been, and I would like to carry it over within the business as well. So I think this new book and this new season is actually placing me on stages, first of all, which is kind of crazy. I actually just got accepted to speak at a conference in New York. That's a pretty big conference. And I'm so, thank you. And I'm so excited. Now, Shakita, a year ago would have been like, not me. I'll sit on a panel, I'll moderate, but you're not going to get me to speak. And so he's, again, trusting God, and he's placing me in new positions. And because I have a story to tell. And I think it's a story not only that's my own, but probably a story that is many entrepreneurs and leaders that have been afraid to share their story. And I want to be that example. Like, don't be afraid of it. Bring both your personal and your professional self into your space. And that's really this new venture of business, being returning to entrepreneur, because I did it in my 20s. Now I'm returning to it in my 40s. And I'm excited, right? This is building out my empire with a desire to really sell it within 10 years. So this is the new stage. I want building out my empire, taking the very tools that I had invested into multi-billion trillion-dollar companies and actually ingesting that skill set and mindset into building my own.
Nice. Investing in yourself. I like it. I like
Yes.
it. I like it. And I
Yes.
like how you have those goals. You're like, within 10 years, I want to sell this business. I like that. Like, you have your goals, you have everything like aligned. You like, within 12 months, I want to have help women do this. I like how you have like just those goals in place. And I pray it comes to pass in Jesus' name
Thank you.
as well.
Thank you.
So this is Becoming the Proverbs Woman podcast. And I always ask all my guests, what quality of the Proverbs woman do you most identify with and why?
Mm, that's I did look at that as well. And there's so many facets of the Proverbs 31 woman that I'm going to be honest, I'm not all of them.
No, we're not.
It's very
That's why this
hard to
is
be all
becoming.
of them,
That's why, yeah,
right?
this is why it's
Yes,
becoming.
yes.
Yeah, we're not. We're not there yet.
No, we're not there yet. No. But I would say the ones that stuck out for me is wisdom, courage, leadership, and discernment. And one, because I this new journey, I'm using the wisdom that I have built over 20 plus years, both painful moments as well as moments of success, and bringing all that together. So in the book, I've actually speak of each chapter. I speak about my personal life and my professional life, and then have a moment where the reader is to reflect on that kind of lesson of the chapter and then write their own. And by the end of the book, they kind of have this blueprint of their own mind velocity, right? And so wisdom is definitely in there. Faithfulness, because this is stretching me. I've been kind of sitting in the seat and being in the background and been okay with that, to be honest. And now it's transforming me to be up front. And so that's faithfulness and trust that God is with me and alongside this journey with me, but also a village of people and supporters that has been very much exciting to see me in this new chapter and this new book of my life. And then leadership and discernment. And I think the reason why I think about those two together is because it's teaching me the ability to perceive and understand and judge clearly. And I was just even looking about in faith, we talk about discernment being the spiritual practice of seeking like inner clarity to understand. And this journey in the last 12 months have been that for me, and a whole new way to uncover things that I bury deep inside, but also to look at forward situations with new eyes.
Hmm. No, that's good. Thank you. That's true. So in terms of what is that final encouragement you would give to the woman who realizes that her apprenticeship years are like ending and then God is like calling her to build in the next room? What's that final encouragement you would give that lady, or just even just the audience in general?
Yes, no, I think that's a great question. I think it's probably two phases of this, right? And I think when God actually tells you something, first of all, I think this natural human instinct is to run from it, right? Because usually he's giving you something that's bigger than what you thought, or maybe you thought it, but you're like, nah, not me. So I would give that woman a moment to say, sit in that revelation and be okay with it. Be okay with your fears, your doubt, but then also be okay with the silence so you can hear God give you the step by step plan. And I think once we kind of remove just thinking like we're doing it on our own, that you start to experience things in new light when you know that you're not alone in the journey. So I'm a firm believer if you can think something, it's possible, right? Many great successful people have just dreamed something or woke up over their coffee and thought about something and just made it happen. Now, the journey doesn't mean that every day is going to be easy. There's going to be some bumps and bruises, some moments of doubt, some moments, even setbacks. But every time is, I always like to say, the first step towards your dream is aspiration is taking the first step. And so just take the first step and don't look back.
No, no, got it. No, that's true. It's like just that bold step. That bold step is just like just take it. Like in terms of just take that big leap of steps, especially just for us women. We like you said, even for me, I understand it's like I've been, in terms of the introvert. So even just being in this space of just putting ourselves out there is a new thing. But I feel like that's what God wants it. And I feel like once we take that first step, it gets easier and you get more comfortable in that space and you're able to do it more. So yes, I love that encouragement of taking that first step. So how can people connect with you, Shakita?
Yes, yes, yes. Well, first of all, you can get the book on Amazon, Mind Velocity, The Mind Behind the Millions, The Brain Behind the Billions, officially dropping on June 26th. But you can pre-order now. You can also go to themindvelocity.com and you can connect with me there as well. You'll see more about the book. If you want me to come and teach or train or speak on the topic, that is also there. And then under my business, Align Strategy Partners, if you're looking for a business strategy and ecosystem design builder to help you with your business transformation, you can visit alignwithsp.com. So it's like Align with Strategy Partners, because that's part of my business name, Align Strategy Partners.
And we'll have all this in the description of how you can connect her book and everything. And just, with social media, you have all your socials and everything. Your social
Yes.
media, right? Okay. So we'll
Yes,
put we'll
yes.
put we'll put
You,
all
I'm on,
this.
you can see me on Boss Lady Trigg,
Yes.
but also Align with SP is also the platform for all of our social media for Align Strategy Partners as well.
All right, so we'll have all that information in the description for you to connect with Shakita. Shakita, thank you. This has been I have enjoyed our conversation of just your story of just how you went from, just being in the W-2 space to, just coming into entrepreneurship and just helping women, your passion for women. I can see it in terms of just your passion, in terms of just wanting to help women businesses. So I appreciate you for that. Thanks for being on the show. This has been very, very impactful.
Thank you for having me.
So, folks, if you want to see more content like this with Shakita of just how she transformed in terms of being like managing, she was managing. Did you hear like some of the deals that she was doing, the partnerships, into then just leaving all that and just she's impacting the lives. Her goal is to impact. She said 100 women businesses at the end of the year by the time she's done. And also in 10 years, she wants to sell that business. So I love that in terms of just the goals and just her velocity framework of just going in direction. She doesn't want businesses just aimlessly going in speed. But if you're going in speed, make sure you're going in speed in the right direction. So I love that. If you want to see more content like this, please share, subscribe. I see a lot of views, but not seeing a lot of subscriptions. So please do me a favor and just hit the subscribe button so that way we can see more content like this. So, folks, thank you. That's another episode of Becoming the Proverbs 31 Woman podcast. My name is Choma Kende, also known as Special Agent Chi, your host. And until next time, stay blessed, everyone. Bye.